Bum, 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 bum.
Tier List Wednesday. You know what's really interesting about our week of tier list, John?
What's that?
Every day, an alternating one of us has worn an Art of War jersey, and the other one has just worn a normal shirt.
I'm glad that you've noticed that. You know, if you want, we could both wear it tomorrow.
We can't coordinate this.
Okay. I'll just wear mine tomorrow because I'm playing a game tomorrow, so I'm just gonna wear it then.
We'll see.
We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens.
But that's right. We're doing a tier list every single day this week. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Today we are ranking the Aeldari Elite choices for you. Monday we did HQs. Yesterday we did troops. Tomorrow is fast attack. And Thursday, of course, the heavy supports plus a Wraith Knight. And I'm very excited for this, John.
Absolutely. I love that you said tomorrow's fast attack and Thursday's heavy support.
All days, they all just jump together.
Friday will be heavy supports because tomorrow is Thursday, but today is Wednesday, and Wednesday means elites. It is Wednesday, my dudes. You ready to talk about the elite choices in the Aeldari Codex?
Elite choices on hump day, let's go. As always, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Comment in the comment section. All that stuff adds up to YouTube likes us, and that helps us get in front of more people, which helps us make more videos like this, and keeps you entertained for longer. So just keep on the cycle.
Absolutely. All your contributions really help, and eventually one day, if we just kind of keep growing, we're going to be able to do a top 10 Relic Pistols video. Just for you, John. I didn't say soon, but dreams do come true eventually.
Eventually.
All right, Nick. Are you ready?
I want to explain the criteria.
Oh, let's do it. Let's do it. Give us the goods.
We got a competitive mindset here at the Art of War. So we're going to be treating all these units from a competitive viewpoint, not the aesthetics, not the lore, not the models, just how they perform on the tabletop and how competitive they are. And as such, we've changed it from the classic SABCD to your tournament staples, strong in most lists, situational, so like if you build around it or you could come up with a reason to run it, overcaution / rarely seen, and then finally, my favorite category, YGWY.
Yeah, this is going to be an interesting one because I don't actually feel like any of the elite slots are going to be tournament staples where they're in literally every list. I honestly think that criteria is a little harsh, but there's going to be a lot of strong in most lists. Here's my guess.
All right.
I think there's a lot of strong units.
Let's do it.
You ready for this? You ready to start off with the first plastic aspect warriors?
Everyone's favorite, the Howling Banshees.
Howling Banshees?
Banshees. Yes.
Banshees.
The Howling Banshees.
All right. Howling Banshees, they're awesome.
They are really good.
They've got every single special role, and they pay for it. And yet, they are still worth it, I think.
They make you fight last. They can advance and charge.
Yep.
They ignore Overwatch. They have a lot of power weapon attacks.
Yep.
Their Exarchs can go absolutely Super Saiyan crazy mode when they get all their relics and their Exarch powers. This unit is like a little missile of death that you can use to just slaughter something. You can multi-charge to make multiple units fight last.
They're -1 to hit. They have a 5-up invuln. They're +1 to wound. They just have so many rules.
And then don't forget, Fate Dice lets you auto-advance 6 and charge with the flat 6. You're just going places. Very far places.
They're going wherever they want.
Yeah, they're awesome. I don't think they belong in every list, and the reason is because not every list is interested in slapping people around in close combat. You certainly can make another list that appreciates them, but the other lists like I've been working on, for example, are all just MSU shooting, multiple small units zipping around, being annoying. So Howling Banshees don't really fit that play style. Yeah. But I think they're strong all the time when you do run them.
Yeah, I think that whenever you want Banshees, they're still really good for the role. I get it, it's not a role that you always need. Some other lists are going to be like, what if I just only shoot you and you never get close to me? And if that's the criteria, then yeah, Howling Banshees are only good if people like are remotely close to you. But I think that comes up a lot. And I think most lists are going to want Howling Banshees. I don't think they're going to be in every list, but I'm going to say that they're going to be in like more than half of the tournament winning lists or like the top 8 lists that we get out of this Eldar book. I really like them. I mean, some of the things you can do. You already said Exarchs that slap.
Exarch slap.
But like, I feel like I need to stop and take a second to say Exarch slaps.
Well, how far hard does Exarch slap?
So,
what's the combo?
An Exarch with mirror swords. It's 4 attacks base. What if you made it 8 hit rolls instead of 4 hit rolls?
Oh, that's
pretty good.
Twice as good. Right?
But if you wanted to buy one of the Exarch powers, not that I blame, 10 points here, 15 points there, you also get +1 attack. Let's call that 10 swings now. So 10 swings with your power swords that are +1 to wound. Pretty good start. This is off of 1 model. Like the rest of the squad, 12 attacks. The Exarch, 10 attacks. basically the same thing.
You got a bunch of bodyguards for your Exarch.
Yeah, a bunch of bodyguards for your Exarch. And one of those Exarch powers that you can buy is, of course, +1 damage.
Wait a second. So my Exarch, this one solo Exarch model, she's got 10 attacks, and then she's +1 to wound, and she's like AP3, AP4, and then she's 2 damage each.
She's basically 3 Voidscarred Vanguard veterans lumped into a single Eldar.
Wow, this unit costs like 105 points or something like that?
Like 105 if you do that.
105. That's pretty cheap. That's pretty fast. It hits pretty hard. It's really utility. I think this unit is awesome. Like we said, it's not going to be in every Elder list because some lists don't. They have better stuff to take, actually. But strong in most lists, I think.
Strong in most lists.
Certainly where we're going with it.
Certainly fair. I honestly feel like they're going to be towards the top of strong in most lists. They're like, to me, they're the line below tournament staple.
Yeah.
All right, next up, Warlocks.
So
we got Footlocks.
They're very interesting because you could take one, it's a solo character, but the same data sheet you could take up to 4, I think. 6?
Yeah, I think it's 2 to 4.
Okay. And then they don't become a character when they take at least more than one. So when you take 2 to 4, it's a unit all of a sudden, which means you can just shoot it. But then they get bonuses to cast and more powers and things like that.
Yeah.
I think just about every Eldar list that we write will want a Warlock in some capacity, whether it's a Footlock or a Jetlock or a unit of Warlocks, because that entire table they have access to with like Protect and Jinx and Quicken Restraint, Conceal Reveal, it's an awesome psychic table, and Warlocks are your best way of getting it because, as we covered in the HQ section, you don't really want to take Shadow Seers, or Spirit Seers. There's better options. So if there's going to be a tournament staple in Elites, I think it's Warlock/Jet Warlocks.
Yeah, I was actually going to go Jet Warlock for the tournament staple. I think that the Foot Warlock, and I think you're mostly going to take it as a Conclave, because one of the real dangers with Warlocks is that if you take a solo Warlock on foot, he's 2 wounds. And Eldar Psychic powers are kind of like high to cast, right? Yeah. So you're going to want to use a Fate dice.
Right.
If you use a Fate dice, you roll another one, and if the second one you roll is a 6, your Warlock kind of just explodes.
Yeah, it's true.
So I think the single character Warlock is going to be a Jetlock almost every time, because at 3 wounds it is a lot less likely to die to perils.
Honestly, I would hate to even risk that because the power fails and you lose your Warlock and then you take an explosion. It's a terrible thing.
It's a terrible fate. That's why I kind of like Ulthway, so that you at least get the mortal wound.
That's true.
Because then it's like really unlikely that one cast kills the Warlock.
Right.
And if he's already wounded, then you stop using the Fate dice and call it a day.
I think I would put the Council in tournament staples just because I think you're gonna put at least some sort of Warlock into your army, and whether you choose unit or foot dude, probably unit or bike dude is your real choice. But whether you go unit or bike dude is kind of personal.
Kind of up to you.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll do it. I'll put it up there, all the way to the top.
You're gonna run those powers.
You do really like those powers. They're so good. Good. Jinx.
You get 2 for the price of 1.
You really do.
And then you spend 2 CP and you get them both for the price of 2.
Is it 2 or is it 1?
But, so you get Protect and Jinx when you select the power Protect/Jinx. And then for 2 command points, you can get the effects of both on 1 cast.
That's pretty strong.
Pretty strong.
Yeah. All right. Next up, Wraithguard.
Wraithguard. Talk about a unit that's weird. They're tough.
Yeah.
They're not that tough because they don't have an invul. They shoot hard. Sort of.
I honestly can't figure out why they're bad, but I also don't think they're good.
I think that why I don't like them and why you typically don't see them in most lists is because they have move 5.
Yep.
And I think Eldar is an army that really enjoys the movement phase. It's like one of their biggest strengths. And Wraithguard are like, we're tough, we're slow, kind of Death Guard Custodes-esque.
Yeah.
And you can really buff them up if you put Protect and Fortune and Conceal on them and just let them walk around. They're really tough. But then it's like, what are we doing here? We're working really hard to make a ghetto Custodes army with my Eldar. I don't think that's really the playstyle, but you could go for it. Will of Azrian makes them OBSEC.
Yeah, it does really feel like they're just not contributing to the playstyle at all.
What about if you take like 5 mans and just kind of hop them around, maybe deep strike them and use them as support in that regard?
What if I take several Wraithguard units and Wraith Blades and a Wraith Knight and the Avatar of Cain?
So I think that's a build. I think you could go Eldar durability and just toss around Will of Azrian, make a bunch of different stuff OBSEC. I think that could be legitimately good. It's not the first choice I'd go for with Eldar, but maybe I'm wrong. Thick City wasn't the first thing that came with Drukhari, and then I was in the Thick City for a hot minute. So I think I'd put Wraithguard into... Oh, man. Overcost rarely seemed look so appropriate, but I could be argued into a situational.
I'm going to go over cost of early scene.
Yeah.
Because honestly, that's because it's a little spoiler for what I think about some of the other Wraith units. I think that they are not as situationally good as other Wraith units.
Yeah.
And the other ones are no better than situational.
I think the Wraith Guard are a pale comparison to their brothers, the Wraith Blades, but we'll get to them.
All right, before we move on, we gotta talk about the super chat.
From Dante, we got a Blood Angel up in here.
Thank you so much, Dante. Question from Dante. Can you battle focus a flying unit from the top floor of a ruin onto the bottom floor, even if you roll less than a 3, because they ignore vertical distance? Could be good for GW block windows.
What a great question.
So, I think purely from a rules as written perspective, the answer might actually be yes, but I'm going to go ahead and say it. If your movement goes down to 0 inches, I get it. You are moving 0 inches going from top to bottom. I still feel like that shouldn't work. So I'm gonna say how we're going to play it. And how I would hope GW would rule it is that if your movement is a net 0 because of terrain, you don't get to terrain hop. But if you move 1 inch, then terrain hopping and ignoring vertical distance is enough to get you up down. But if you move 0, my take is you move 0.
Yeah.
I think it's reasonable.
It is reasonable. It's not really a defined section of the rules. Can you declare you're making a move if you have a movement value of 0? I think it's sort of, you could use a precedent of like a drop pod who doesn't have a move characteristic, so can never move. That's a better way of phrasing move 0. So in theory, you would be the counter argument. But I agree. There's a bit of intent going on here. I'm happy to go with the way that you have to actually roll more than a 0 to get down. To move.
I think that's pretty safe. All right,
we'll see.
We'll see what happens. Hopefully, GW will roll on that. All right.
Mr. Dire Avengers, one of my personal fan favorites.
I already got called in the chat because I said Howling Banshees were the first plastic aspect warrior, and it was Dire Avengers. I forgot about them.
You forgot about Dire Avengers, you poor fool.
Yeah, it's because I've never seen them be good on the tabletop.
Well, that's just incorrect. They were great last week against Siege's Storm Surges, ripping those things apart. Because Hail of Doom and Guide and Doom and Masterful Shots on these jabronis is amazing. Like, holy crap, talk about a unit that can put some damage down and isn't that expensive. And 10 points makes the whole thing obsec. And it's kind of tough with the 5 pinball. I won't say tough, it's like 5 pinball tough. So, I'm a big fan of this unit.
They're not expensive. Are they, 13 points a model?
They're 12.
12?
They're 12 points per model, and they can shoot and do actions.
Oh, just all the time?
Just all the time.
Oh, that's so cool.
And 10 points makes them OPSEC. Right? I genuinely,
I would take that's like a good R&D unit.
It's a great R&D unit. 5 man's deep strike around. They're forced.
Put it in the Falcon so you can deep strike turn 1 R&D and shoot.
That's not even a bad move. I like that.
It's not even bad.
I like that. And move block while you're at it. Can you go? Do you have to go 9 away when you get out of the Falcon?
Yeah.
Oh,
still
maybe not.
Kind of cool.
Yeah, still cool.
Still kind of cool.
I think Dire Avengers have gone from 0 to hero more than almost anyone in this codex.
Yeah. No, I'm with it. They were definitely 0s before, 100%. They were just unloved and unwanted.
I tried. I tried to want them. I did want them.
You did want them. You tried to love them.
I tried to love them.
We couldn't. We talked you out.
But now I love them, and I want them. And they're in my list, and I'm using them in the War Room tomorrow against John in Eldar vs. Harlequin's top duo battle.
I'm excited for that.
Check that out in the War Room. I think these are strong in most lists, John.
I agree. When I first read the Eldar Codex, I was like, these are just Guardians that cost a little bit more. Blah, and I just kind of threw them out.
Yeah.
And then everyone else was like, I don't know, Dire Avengers look pretty good. I'm like, you idiots. You don't know what you're talking about. That's exactly
what he said.
You absolute buffoons. And you know what? Sometimes you're wrong when you make a hot take. Baharoth, great. Maganra, terrible. Dire Avengers, better than I thought. I would happily put them in strong in most lists. And I could see, if you're going for like a Hail of Doom list, I could see you really building around them.
Let's go. Strong in most lists.
Strong in most lists?
Strong in most lists.
Yeah. I don't think I would take them in Ulthway, which to me it's custom versus Ulthway is the tournament question right now. Ulthway is the only named one that I would want. And I don't think they benefit as much there, but they're better than situational because, you can build around it, but they're not bad even if you don't take Hail of Doom. And when you do, they are staples. So I'm not going to put them in situational. That'd be like some Eldred logic.
I think I think simplifying it to Ulthway versus custom is just way too oversimplified. Those are 2 builds for sure, and they're really good builds. But this book is deep. We've got it for 5 minutes, and we've skipped half the units. You just found out Dire Avengers were good a minute ago, and we got time to explore some stuff here.
Well, let's we keep bringing up Ulthway. Let's kind of compare them to Eldred. Would you take them if you're not doing Hail of Doom?
Yeah.
Really? It would?
Really,
That wouldn't make them situational?
I think Dire Avengers are strong in most lists. Like, as you said, as an R&D unit, forget Hail of Doom. Just take them.
All right, let's go with it.
I'd run them in every tournament staples.
All right, interesting takes there.
Fire dragons.
Fire dragons.
Dragons of fire.
See, I wouldn't take them in Ulfway, but I also wouldn't take them in Hail of Doom.
Well, fire dragons are unfortunately past my acceptable limit for how much a toughness 3 1-wound model can cost. It's like you can have your Melt-A-Gun, which gets you really close to your opponent, and that's a very dangerous place to be, and then you're going to die to like a bolter because someone sneezed at you, and then you're like, man, that was 22 points, and his buddy next to him was 22 points, and his buddy next to him was 22 points, and the Exarch somehow cost 40. And like, wow, that was a lot of points to just lose to a squad of intercessors. Crap, hope I blew up a tank that was worth more.
I absolutely love that you started off with there's only so much you're willing to pay for a T3 1-wound model, because that's just not what they are. Fire dragons are T4!
I'm sorry.
Come on, Nick!
My whole point is invalid. You're right, John. Technically correct as always.
Technically correct. We got him, boys.
Alright, well, since my hot take on Fire Dragons is just brutally wrong based on that toughness value, why don't you give yours?
Alright. So Fire Dragons unfortunately fall into this spot where I'm not willing to pay that many points for a 1-wound T4 model. I mean, they're just like 22 points a model. That's great with a Melt-A-Gun, but it's just not great enough because it's kind of short-ranged. And sometimes they just die to like bolt guns, and it just feels bad when you lose like 66 points to like a smite. So I just can't really get behind Fire Dragons.
Me either. And toughness 4 is not saving you from the smite.
No, it is not.
Oh, it's 115 points for 5. Even more. Good job, chat. We're just getting Fire Dragons. That's how you know the unit is bad. We know so little of its rules that we just get it wrong.
Pop quiz. Do you know what the Melt-A-Gun stats are?
Yeah. It's strength 8.
Because I'm like not even sure that I do, so I'm kind of.
I
think we both take our guess, and then we look it up.
Guess. We'll get the book out.
All right, what's your guess?
I think it's strength 8. I think it's range 12. I think it's AP 4. I think it's damage D6 plus 2.
I think it's 18-inch range, strength 9, AP 4, always D6 plus 2. I'm gonna 6 strength 8. Okay, so, but 18-inch range.
I'm almost positive it's not 18-inch range, but
pub sub?
No. When John puts a pub sub on the line, you're definitely wrong.
All right. We're finding out, chat, and then we're gonna be done talking about Fire Dragons.
Fire Dragons are not in this section. They're over here.
Oh.
Where are Fire Dragons?
They're in Elites.
Okay, that's where I just was. This is the Elites. These two are Elites.
Yep.
This is where Fire Dragons are. That's what I was saying. They have a 12-inch gun. No, yeah, 12-inch. I should have bet a pub sub on. Oh my god.
Oh, they are strength 9 though.
Oh my god, I could have had lunch. I knew because like they do have to get 112. 18, I would actually like them. Yeah. Because one of the Exarch powers is plus 4-inch range. So then you're 22-inch range. And then you can like battle focus after that. And that's like you actually kind of get back to safety after you use your unit.
Alright, so we should take Fire Dragons.
If they had an extra 6-inch range you just made up, absolutely.
Yeah, that would have been better.
Yeah. All right. They're just overcost. So not YGWI. If they cost less, I could take them as a Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
But it costs too much.
Plus 4-inch range from an Exarch. I'll pretend that's what I was thinking about.
No, that's what I was just talking about. The 22. You can't take this from me. Just go to your Scorpions.
Striking Scorpions, aka the coolest aspect warrior, because they have chain swords and they've got little like on the side.
I'm making a poll right now in the chat. Forget the tier list. That doesn't matter. Who thinks Scorpions are the coolest aspect warrior? Actually, that's too vague. Scorpions or Banshees? Vote now.
Which one's I think we should just have them say what they think the coolest aspect is.
Okay, fine. Yep. Post your favorite aspect warrior in the chat.
All right. Let us know, chat. It's Scorpions. Psst. All right. So while they wait for the lag to happen, so they know that we asked this question. Striking Scorpions. They forward deploy. They do mortals. They have exploding 6s. They just have a bucket load of attacks. I like them. They're cheap. They're good. They're not, I think, as good as Banshees because they're a little bit slower. But I like that they're a forward deploying melee unit that you can redeploy with Phantasm if you end up going second. So they're a really good skirmishing unit, I think, for going and early game beating up other skirmishing units and taking their spot. So like if your opponent's trying to like get skirmishing units on objectives, Scorpions are great for going, killing them, and living there because they have a better save than Banshees. They've got the 3-up armor save. All right. Ooh, we're getting a lot of votes in the chat. Oh my goodness. All right, I'm gonna make you in charge of counting Banshees. I'll be in charge of counting Scorpions.
Before we do that,
we gotta place them.
Can I talk about Scorpions? I know you just monologued about Scorpions for 20 minutes, but I would like to have an opinion.
I'd like you to not have one.
Well, okay. So scorpions, I think you like them because they're like mandrakes, and you like mandrakes. They do function very similar. They infiltrate. They're like a skirmishing unit. They get killed very quickly. They try to kill something before they die. Get your early stranglehold or engage or whatever. That's their kind of job. Maybe an early rods. Beat up some trash. I think that's okay. I don't think Eldar has to go out of its way at all to run scorpions. They can kill trash instantaneously. But Phantasm in a redeploy is good. I'm not impressed with them, but I think they're fine. They're a strong unit, I suppose. All right,
we've got some votes. So, here, where are we putting scorpions?
I want them in situational, but I know where you want them.
I'm actually willing to accept situational.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think you have to build around it.
Thank you. Okay.
I love them. They're my favorite.
We agree. All right, let's get to this.
All right, before we start counting, we got to take the first vote from Matto, courtesy of his $5 super chat. Thank you so much, Matto. Matto says that banshees are a classic unit in Dawn of War, the video game. Scorpions are not in it at all, and that is a pretty big ding on scorpions.
Matto was right. It's a pretty big ding on scorpions. Banshees are a lot more cool in classic.
Yep. And Dante with another super chat says,
so much,
choose one aspect to protect you, the others attack you. In that case, I'm choosing Shining Spears. I love those.
One aspect to protect me? I'm choosing Warp Spiders. We're just going to leave.
Swooping Hawks will leave even faster.
Okay.
All right, so let's
count these up.
Let's get these counts. So we've got quite a few votes here. So Banshees, Warp Spiders, Banshees, Scorps, Banshees, Shining Spears, Scorps. That's 2.
That's 4 for Banshees.
That's literally 3. 1, 2, 3.
That's what I said.
Oh my god. All right, so 2 for Scorpions. Reapers, Hawks, Hunters, Specters, Warp Spiders, Scorps. That's 4 for Scorps, 5 for Scorps. 6, 7. Dire Avengers, then Scorpions. I won't count that. There's a Banshee up to 4. Scorpions, that's 8. Banshees.
It's 5
Hawks,
Banshees.
Scorpions up to 9. Spiders, Hawks, Shining Spears, Spiders, Dark Reapers. Shining Spears, Dire Avengers. Dire Avengers.
Let's count Dire Avengers.
I think Scorpions are cooler.
Let's count Dire Avengers.
Alright, so Scorpions just got 11, and Banshees had what, like 5?
Get out of here. You're all wrong. All of you are wrong. This is why you're not doing the tier list. This is why you're not doing tier list.
Oh, another Scorpius comes in.
There's a Banshee right above it.
Alright, 6 to 12.
Forging your
Still
narrative.
doubling you.
Okay.
Alright.
Let's talk about something not Scorpions. I'm done.
Let's talk about Wraith Blades.
Let's talk about Wraith Blades.
Alright.
Wraith Blades. I like them.
I really do. And again, I don't think they're making my list, but like I really want to like them.
I think there's a really cool list that is a unit of 10 Wraith Blades with Ghost Shield and Axe. So you have the 4-up invul, and then you can cast Protect on this thing if you want. It gets 2-up saves. Their infantry, they can stand in cover for 1-up saves. Fortune is really what you need on them because they have -1 damage. Those 3 wounds will feel no pain. You're tough 6. You got good armor. You got 4-up invul.
Maybe like Will of Ozarian.
Will of Ozarian makes it OBSEC. It's not going anywhere. I think you just walk this thing around and pretend you're Custodes with a nice 10-man brick. Put your Psychers behind it. Cast Eldritch Storm a couple times because it's once per game. And just you play in a brick.
Yeah.
Maybe the Avatar belongs to that army.
I think he does, and the Wraith Lords.
Let's box with some beef. I don't think that's a normal Eldar build. That's some weird list that we just came up with right here in the tier list. But I think it's a real army. I think it's a competitive one. I'm going to put them in situational. Cleanly situational.
I would as well. So when you look at the Axe and the 4-shield one, it's 45 points, the same cost as a Custodian Guard. In combat, they hit just as hard as Custodian's Guard. Same number of attacks, 1 less weapon skill, but like strength still like 6 AP2 or AP3 damage 2. The 4-up invul and 2-up armor or 3-up armor save. They're tougher than a Custodian's Guard because they're +1 toughness and -1 damage.
Yeah.
And Custodian's Guard are good.
The nice thing about playing Eldar in this style with like Wraith Blades pretending they're Custodians and Wraithguard and all that stuff is you're still playing Eldar, so you can still take your Swooping Hawks and your Spiders and your Jet Bikes or your Indirect Fire, all that, and just take less of it as a skirmishing support role.
Yeah.
And then one of the big problems with Custodians with these elite armies is they have no skirmishing units. They have no chaff. And Eldar is like, we have a lot of that.
Exactly. And Wraith Blades did in fact get core. Yeah, honestly, I would love to have like a big Wraith Blade unit and like a couple small Dire Avenger units running around doing my action shooting,
Absolutely.
and then like one big Swooping Hawk squad in Balharoth.
Yeah. So earlier,
really
this
strong.
is when you were saying earlier, it's either Ulthway or Masterful Shots and Hail of Doom. Like those are 2 builds. But like maybe this is a real build.
Maybe it is.
Maybe it is. And this
And
certainly
then you're
is another
Iandin.
build. Then you're Iandin. Don't even know what they do. Let's find out.
It's
You want to make a pub sub bet on this?
on what Iandin does?
Yeah.
It's treat AP2 as AP1, AP1 as AP dash. That's what they do. You're like so far off. I can't find the page, so I win the pub sub.
I didn't make the bet.
I
didn't say anything.
All right. So we've got some Forge rolls.
Forge World.
Forgery World.
Shadow Specters. This is a unit that's been up and down. Sometimes they're hot, sometimes they're not seen. They didn't get any rules changes, but everything around them in context of Eldar changed.
Yeah.
So, they still got to benefit from all their usual suspects: Guide, Doom, Fortune, Protect, Quicken. Although Quicken is a lot worse. Fire and Fade. They have Battle Focus.
They do have they just have Battle Focus C Eldar Codex, so that they got that update with.
Okay.
Thing.
So they got Battle Focus. They still feel a niche role of we shoot two different profiles that you're appreciative of. I think they're a little pricey, but I think they're situational. I think it's meta dependent on these.
I was gonna put them in overcosted. The big thing for me is that they're 26 points a model.
Yeah.
And when you look at the other aspect units and the other ways to get shooting into a list, it's like, what am I doing?
That's true. They were seen in the last book because they were one of the hardest shooting units you have. Now everything shoots harder.
Now everything shoots harder, so now it's like, all right, they just don't contribute much.
And we're past the threshold of acceptability for points for a T3-1 model. Remember,
indeed, they are T3.
They are. So
and they still cost more, and they cost more.
Now they're a little better at staying alive, so I'm a little more open to their thing because
they move 12.
They move 12, and they can pick their angles a little better, and they can they got the longer range on their gun too.
Yep. Chad is pointing out that indeed Shadow Specters do not have core at the moment. I'm gonna go ahead and assume that they get that when Forge World gets the Eldar update FAQ thing. Definitely they don't have core right now, so you couldn't do it at a tournament, but let's future-proof this and say that they get FAQ to get core because every other aspect unit is core.
I think I'm with you on overcosted, though. I think that's where...
Yeah.
If they just never get core, you're just never going to take them.
Sure, if they never get core, they go into YGWY because we're going to ask them to give them core.
Yeah.
Until that point, I'm going to assume that they get it, and then they just go to overcosted.
Yeah.
26 points is just a little too much.
Talk about a unit which I do not understand.
You wanna read it?
Let's read it.
Let's read the Voidscarred.
Voidscarred. This is the second
I'm not even
time.
sure if the Elite is the... Oh, it is Voidscarred. Sweet.
Done. Flip right to the page. Look at that.
You... Okay. Actively didn't.
Sean's always got to poo-poo my parade. Can't let me have anything. We got the Voidscarred, though. We can have those.
You can have
They're a unit of 5 to 10 models. You could have 4... Oh, and then additionally, you could have some more stuff. So it's 4 to 9 regular Corsair Voidscarred, which are basically just an Eldar base stat line. Hits on 3, strain 3, toughness 3, 1 wound. It's got 3 attacks and a 4-up armor save. You have a sergeant for them, which is just a dude with 1 more attack. And then you have 0 to 1 of these 3 weird models, a Shade Runner, a Soul Weaver, and a Wayseeker. They are also just the same kind of Eldar stat line. Yeah. They got a mishmash of weapons, but everyone seems to have a power sword as a base troop dude. There's a lot of rules in this data sheet. John, what do these do?
So, I mean, they are 3 attacks with a power sword. You can get like a bunch of like little idiots in the unit. And that's interesting. I don't know what you're going to do with that, honestly.
I was going to ask why do we have these, perhaps?
Yeah. You can like do cheeky mortals. I don't really see a point to a lot of this. You can ignore light cover. You can give 1 model a 4-up invuln. You can change 1 thing to damage 0. And you can smite.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of nothing going on with this unit. I think it's a lovely choice for your Crusade campaign where every model gets their own unique backstory. I think it's got cool play over there.
Yeah.
I don't think it's got any play competitively. Like literally 0.
If you look at it at its base, what is this unit? I think it's 60 points for 16 attacks with power swords, which is like not terrible objectively, but then you compare it to Howling Banshees and you're like, yeah, I'm willing to pay a little bit more for that +1 to wound and advance and charge.
I'd also just save myself 2 points and take the troop version and then also get the OBSEC keyword.
Yeah, no, I don't think that all the cute little tricks are worth buying.
No, like I don't want any of them.
Yeah, no, I don't either.
Okay.
Are they overcosted or are they YGWY?
I don't know what this unit does.
I think it's YGWY because like
Why
there's so many. Well, it's the models. There's just so many little things in there that don't contribute. Apparently they have the Drukhari keyword. That's what?
cool.
Oh, wait, no. Find out if they have the Drukhari keyword.
I think they do.
Because if they do, you can cast the +1 CP power and just put it in a Drukhari patrol, and that's actually kind of good.
Oh my god, you would think.
Oh, Drukhari. Yep.
Okay.
And so put him in a patrol with mandrakes.
Could just put a unit of these guys in and cast +1 CP. John found a use. I don't think Drukhari need that.
Credit the chat said that.
That's you put the next part to it, not the keyword. Anyway, you're welcome.
Okay.
You're welcome to chat.
Mm-hmm.
So, still asking the question why this unit exists.
Yeah.
I'm not moving it up to situational because that's a thing. I'm not.
Good and Drukhari for mental interrogation.
Oh, fine. Put it in situational. You did it. You found a reason. Very proud of you. I am proud of you. That's pretty unique.
That's kind of cool.
It's
yeah.
kind of cool.
I don't even know if that works. I think you have to be a character for mental interrogation.
Well, I'm back into the wild.
Oh, back into the wild.
Why are we going down this adventure? Just move on. Move on to the
All
Warlock.
right.
Put the Warlock in the tournament staples.
Warlock in tournament staples.
He's going to cast your power.
Same as before, but he rides a bike. That means he's faster, and it means he's less likely to die to perils.
Yeah.
I accept both.
That's good.
Good enough for me.
And then we get to a real interesting conundrum. What to do with Mr. Wraithlord? I think a lot of people, Brad Chester especially, really likes the Wraithlord.
I like the Wraith Lord.
John Lennon too.
Yeah.
We had a joke. It's an inside joke in the stream house where it's like, at what point do you take a box dread, like the one that comes out of the starter set with a multi-melt and a power fist and no other stats or rules associated with it?
Yeah.
And I don't remember where the joke started, but it was like John's like, I'll take a box dread for like 115 or something like that.
I think it was 100. I think it was I'd pay 100 for a box dread.
Yeah, and then
was the original.
We looked it up, and it was like less than 100 right now. And then we're like, John, where are your box dreads? And then they never made a list.
it's like 120, 15, 120.
I don't know,
but definitely the 100 points was a little optimistic.
So if we look at the Wraithlord, it's very similar to a box dread in nature.
Yeah.
It kind of walks around. It's move 8, not 6. Its toughness 8, not 7. It's got 2 more wounds, though it degrades. It's got 9 wounds, that doesn't degrade. It can choose its weapons, but now we're paying a lot of points because you give it some Bright Lance, it's more like 150 points over here. You keep it nice and cheap, it doesn't shoot, so it's hard to actually impact the table. I think it's good for standing places and being like, I'm here, but I don't know how useful that actually is.
Yeah, I think it's viable in the lists that we've talked about but not put on the table, which is where you actually try to take the toughness stuff. The big thing is, I don't think there's a point in taking a little bit of toughness.
Yeah.
Because if you're like, oh yeah, my army is made out of swooping hawks that you'll never see and 2 Wraithlords, then the Dawn Eagle jet bikes are like, hold on, I see one thing over there. He's getting the lances. And then the Wraithlord's like, but I'm -1 damage as he gets vaporized at it, like, instantly.
So I actually like the combination of having one tough thing in my mostly do nothing list, because the problem with like Eldar Swooping Hawks and Warp Spiders, the army, is that you're never actually holding objectives with anything of substance. So Wraith units are really good for holding objectives in the open with something of substance that won't just die. Part of the problem right now is the lethality in the game is so high that if you're walking around with no invul, you might as well just be dead, because a lot of weapons are AP a lot, damage like D6 plus 3 or something. So he's not long for this world even with -1 damage. Now if he had an invul, we could talk. If he had feeling pain, we could talk, because it makes him last that much longer. But he's just going to get shot in the face by Meltalances or something like that.
He really is.
And then that's the end of that.
Yeah. We got to give a quick shout out to the chat. Thank you so much, Quentin Johnson, for your super chat saying that corsairs are clearly tournament staples. You know what, Quentin? Take these corsairs to a tournament, put them in the troop slot, find out what to do with the elite choice. Just let us know, Quentin.
Put them in your Dark Eldar army so you get powers. It's good.
Yeah, I mean, +5 CP in a Dark Eldar army.
It's not +5.
Not?
You're not going to hit it every time unless you're Siegs.
Everyone besides you will hit it every time.
Okay, well, this is why I don't take CP regen.
Yeah, the Wraithlord, he does have some good value. I also like that he's very small in that he's just a single model on a 60 mil base, so he's not hard to hide. I could see him just hiding behind a wall for 3 turns against the super high output armies while you whittle out their shooting, and then he just kind of walks out and it's like, yeah, it's too late to kill me, and he beats up other skirmishing units very easily. I could see the value on the Wraithlord. I personally would actually put him in situational.
I think I want to put him in situational, but I do think he's overcosted.
I don't even think he's that overcosted. Like if I look at that data sheet, I'm like, how much do I want this to cost? I don't want him to go much lower. I mean, sure, if he was like 60 points, would I take him? Yes, I would take 3. But like that's not the metric we should use.
No, but I think because he has to pay for his weapons to actually contribute to the game with firepower, then he's like 120 to 150, and that's way too much.
Yeah. So Salvagon says 125 for double scatter laser and a glaive. It's not that bad.
That's not that good.
No, but I mean it's tougher than the box dread because it's T8, which is a nice breakpoint.
We're not taking a box dread. Like,
it's true.
I would not take a Wraith Lord at 125 because I think it's overcosted for 2 scatter lasers and a sword.
Oh, Shad.
I mean, do you disagree with that?
I don't think it's that overcosted.
You would. Then you think it's fairly costed.
I think it's fairly costed, yeah.
So you would take one, and you think it'd be a competitive choice.
I think it's situational. Like, sometimes the list will want a Wraith Lord, and sometimes it won't.
Okay, I'll give it to you.
Whee!
Okay, just because I like him.
Yeah, he's cute.
He's cute.
He's a cute little guy.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, that's it, everybody. That's our elite section. We got Warlocks casting powers at the top, because, Eldar's all about casting powers. We got Strong and Litmost list, Dire Avengers, 0 to Hero. Look at these bad boys. Howling Banshees, bringing it up.
But Warlocks were the only tournament samples.
They were. Scorpions, Wraith Blades with the axe and shield variation specifically, and Wraith Lords are situationally good. You could find reasons to run any of that.
Yep. So, before we close this one out, we had a couple questions in the chat about the HQs, aka the Phoenix Lord that we missed last time, and the Autarch's new datasheet. I'm going to say that the Autarch's new datasheet does not change his ranking at all.
Yeah.
Doesn't change it at all. The fact that you can take a jump like wings instead of a jump pack for the warp spider thing is cool. They both move 12 and fly, so I don't really care that much. It's not like a huge difference. And I'm going to say that Irilith is YGWY because he's a Phoenix Lord that can take 6 damage in the face. So YGWY.
Yeah, I mean he's kind of outdated.
Yeah, he is.
He's not upset. He's not a Phoenix Lord.
If he gets fixed, he gets fixed. Yeah. Right now, YGWY. Right. All right. Thank you so much, everyone, for watching. We have some exciting things coming up. In fact, they're going to be on this very YouTube channel in an hour and a half.
I will be taking my Gene Slayer cult out for a whirl. We got all our trucks. We got our industrial affinity. We are impassioned. And we are going to chop Mr. Seeks the Silent King in half. Go check it out on our YouTube channel, 1 p.m. Eastern Time.
Do you think the Kellamorph can kill the Silent King?
Yeah, easy. Easy peasy.
If you pull that off, Nick.
Praise
the Kellamorph.
Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, everyone. And as always, check out the War Room where we teach all kinds of really cool stuff. John's going to bring you off to the War Room commercial, and we will see you later.
Bye-bye.
There's so many rules in 40K, hundreds of events, and constant updates. Skip the learning curve of Warhammer and join the pros. Art of War is led by multiple world champions with decades of success. We teach clinics, stream games, and inspire you to succeed at your favorite hobby. Join our global community of gamers just like you.